alcohol, no smoking. Every Sunday, you go to church.
It's God above everything. I'm not scared of anyone or anything because I'm judged by God.
First memory when we met first at dojo.
Why is this guy already signed? And I've been here training and I'm not signed.
You said young boy.
Young boy.
What kind of jobs you had to do it there?
500 squats, 200 jumping squats. I had to clean the dojo, I had to clean the little apartment.
Were you training? Were you wrestling?
I had a WWE tryout in 2019 when they came to Canada.
3 dudes, different races.
Yeah.
People used to turn their neck.
White driver, an Indian in the passenger seat, and this black guy in the back. But that's the beauty of pro wrestling.
Who think wrestling is fake?
I just asked them, what do they think is real in their lives?
Sheldon Jean, if not a wrestler, then what he would be?
That's a good question.
Pain!
Oh, does he think he is Saquon Barkley? Oh, what a
Take a look at this!
Catches the ball. Wanted to get right in the face of Kenny King.
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ। ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਰੈਸਲਰ ਭੁਪਿੰਦਰ ਗੁੱਜਰ ਤੇ ਦੋਸਤੋ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਟੌਪ ਰੋਪ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਪੋਡਕਾਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਐਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਗੈਸਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਰੈਸਲਰ ਹੈ, ਉੱਭਰਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਸਿਤਾਰਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਠਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਟਰੈਵਲਿੰਗ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਟੋਰੀਜ਼ ਬਹੁਤ ਨੇ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ। ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਸ਼ੈਲਡਨ ਨੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਕੀਤੀ, ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਜਾਪਾਨ ਗਏ, ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਲਿੱਤਾ ਤੇ ਮੁੜ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ TNA ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਈਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਫਸਟ ਕੰਟਰੈਕਟ। TNA ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੰਨੀ ਕੁ ਵਧੀਆ ਬੌਂਡਿੰਗ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਆਪਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕੋ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇੱਕੋ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸਿਸ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਸ਼ੈਲਡਨ ਦੀ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਮੇਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈਂਦਾ, ਸਿੱਧਾ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸ਼ੈਲਡਨ ਜੀਨ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਬਾਰੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਰੀਅਰ ਬਾਰੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਰੈਸਲਿੰਗ ਬਾਰੇ। Sheldon, welcome to my podcast, bro.
What's up, brother?
How are you? How's life treating?
I'm good, brother. I just came back from church. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good physically, mentally, spiritually. So can't complain. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. No alcohol. No smoking. Every Sunday, you go to church.
Yeah.
What a great man.
So if you don't smoke and you don't drink and you go to church, it doesn't mean you're a great man. But I just so happen to do all three. There's no real reason behind them, and they don't correlate at all. Like I don't go to church because I don't smoke or drink, vice versa. One has nothing to do with the other. But everybody thinks I'm this good boy.
You are.
Everyone thinks I'm
Right.
this good boy, but I promise you as you know, there's a lot more to me than
100%.
just that.
You are very confident, peaceful, and disciplined. You know what you're doing in your life.
Yeah.
I want to know where Sheldon Jean is mentally in his life.
Yeah. Like where I get that confidence from, I guess. Everybody always asks me that. And for a very long time, I actually didn't know where. So I'm actually happy that you asked me that. With that being said, primarily, it's from God. I really am a believer. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. And I've always felt connected to God since I was little. And in my religion, in Christianity, it's God above everything.
Right.
So I'm not scared of anyone or anything because I'm judged by God. And I really do mean that. So when it's me attempting to do something that's difficult, I'm not worried because I'm good with God. If I have to go against somebody, I'm not worried because they're not God. And then outside of God, it's just preparation and doing little things and learning from your mistakes, whether it's past sports, past relationships. I've always tried to build off all of my experiences. And as you know, taking care of your body the way you took care of it 3 years ago isn't the way you do it now.
100%.
So I have a very good memory, luckily, and I just build off of all of my experiences. So my confidence comes from God primarily, but secondly, it comes from preparation.
Right. What was your first memory of me when we met first at dojo?
Well, that's way more than 3 years ago.
that was actually
I think you would-
2018. So yeah, it's 8 years.
Yeah, like beginning of 18.
Yeah.
So 7, 8 years, eh? Wow. So they told me that you were coming, And to be honest, I remember you were already signed to Impact.
Okay.
And I was thinking to myself, I just finished training. I'm like, why is this guy already signed? I'm like, why is this guy already signed to a TV company? And I've been here training and I'm not signed. I had just gotten back from Japan, I think,
Right.
or I was about to go. I don't remember. But I remember thinking that. But then you came and you were just a good, normal guy. And I remember you really wanted to learn.
Mhm.
So I couldn't be mad. I was like, okay, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And so our paths crossed for that little bit. And then I moved away again.
Right.
Yeah.
My first memory of seeing you at dojo, and you came back from Japan,
Okay.
and you were about to move to Ottawa back,
Mhm.
and then we were there for a little bit, but then you were gone. Then I totally forgot about you.
Yeah.
But in 2022,
Mhm.
you came back. We'll jump on that part
Yeah.
later. But first, I want to know. I'm pretty sure you have already talked about that like
Mm.
thousands times. How was your experience going to Japan? And
Oh
you,
yeah.
I remember you told me that you weren't invited for the tryout,
Yeah.
and you just show up,
Yeah.
and they selected you.
Yeah, and that's a good lesson for anybody watching. But yeah, so essentially the whole Japan thing, long story short, there was a tryout that was coming up at the
Mhm.
dojo, and you weren't here for this, but it's funny because you know how the dojo works. So
Right.
there was a tryout coming up, and a week before the tryout, the president and Kiyomiel, the star student at the time of Pro Wrestling Noah, they were coming for like a pre-tryout training session. Kiyomiya's first time training in Canada. So the
Mhm.
president of
So
Noah,
that was first.
yes, a
Wow.
week before the tryout. Nobody knows about this. So I'm at home and I get a call from somebody. I'll tell you their name after the podcast. I get a call. You can probably guess who it is. And he's like, hey, just so you know, there's this secret practice and the president of Noah's there. Everyone's going to be there, top guys only, and you're not invited. He's like, I'm telling you this just in case you want to just show up.
Mhm.
But you didn't hear it from me, is what he said.
Okay.
So then obviously, you know me, I got
You can
mad.
take his name. It's 8 years now.
No, I'm not saying it. I got mad and then I just showed up. And thank God that I did, because right after that, I got invited to go to Japan and be a young boy. And being a young boy is crazy.
How many people were there in the training session over there?
In the session,
In the session.
so in the training session, it was Jake something, Rohit. There was Tyson Dukes was there. Abe was there.
Was Tony there?
Tony wasn't there, no. Tony was there at the tryout afterwards, and he won
Okay.
his Impact contract.
Tony Gill, yeah.
Yes, but no, he wasn't at that initial practice. There was like 6 people that weren't me wrestling.
And what do you think? What you did different that they just selected you? Because I want to know. as
Yeah, how
you
that
guys were
happened.
there with one of the best pro wrestlers
Yeah.
training, and boom, talent got selected.
Yeah, I definitely had less experience than all the guys there, but I think it's a potential thing. I think it's a talent and potential thing. I trained for a very long time before I graduated. I know you did too, but
Mhm.
I trained for 2 years or so before I graduated,
Mhm.
and it wasn't like I was struggling to get it. Just for whatever reason, whatever timing, it just took a long time for our boss, our
Mhm.
coach,
Yeah.
to give me the okay. But I would have said I was ready maybe 7 months in. So
Okay.
I was pretty good when I first started. If you go look at my first couple matches, for someone that's in their first matches, I was pretty good. So I think what happened was the president of Noah saw that I had just graduated and like he had his student there and I was on a similar level to him, even though I had just started.
Mhm.
So it stood out to him. So he said, oh, this guy would be a good young boy because he's young and has potential.
You said young boy.
Young boy.
I want you to elaborate. What does that mean? Young
Yes.
boy, and what kind of jobs you had to do it there?
Yeah. So in professional wrestling, Japan is known for how strict and difficult their training is. Some people call it their warrior training. And the people that do this training are considered young boys. They're
Mhm.
young to the business of professional wrestling. So
Mhm.
I was selected as an international, because I'm from Canada, an
Right.
international young boy. So that means I went to Japan for 3 months and lived there. And I had to live at the dojo. I had to train every single day. I had to do 500 squats every day, 200 jumping squats every day, 300 push-ups every day, hundreds of
Wow.
crunches every day, neck bridges, bumps, all of this tough, difficult stuff. But at the same time, I had to clean the dojo. I had to clean the little apartment. I had to carry bags on the bus for the veteran wrestlers of Pro Wrestling Noah. I had to help set up the venue before the shows. And I still had to do those trainings before the shows. We did them every day except for Sunday. And on top of that, I also was wrestling and touring. So there'd be times I'm walking into every time I had a match there, I had just finished doing 700 squats, 300 push-ups, et cetera, so I'm going into these matches that I'm already exhausted. The young boy training is forever known to be very difficult.
Bro, I heard about that.
It's crazy,
Trainings. It's
bro. It's crazy.
crazy.
It's crazy.
I did it a little bit
Yeah.
back home in India, but not like that. I did it for like, I
Yeah.
would say a couple of months, but not every day.
Yeah.
But you're talking about every day doing 500 squats and push-ups, wrestling push-ups.
Yeah.
And
No, it's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I still have aches and pains in my knees from
This-
7 years ago. It's a lot. Like
Yeah.
it's not sustainable.
Mhm.
And I did it for 3 months. Some of the guys that I was a young boy with were there for a couple of years doing that.
I don't know how they are surviving, and it's not just 3 days, 3 months.
Yeah, it
Feels like 3 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're listening, 3 months might not sound like a lot, but it is so much when you're doing the same thing every single day. I don't often talk about it, but yeah, I am proud that I got through it, but I would never do it again.
What's the one best memory, I would say, you have? Like when you think about Japan and you were like, oh, memory.
My best memory in Japan,
It could be
yeah,
bad or good, anything.
yeah. Oh, yeah, a lot happened to me there. But honestly, I just loved how professional it was.
Mhm.
And that was the first time where wrestling was my full job. I had to train every day. I had to perform every other day. I had to travel. I had no time. There was no one else that spoke English. So that's as painful as it was, that's the dream. You want wrestling to be your life.
Mhm.
And it was my life. So I did enjoy performing in different cities, traveling around Tokyo, taking the train to go back and forth, randomly bumping into a foreigner that speaks English. So, like now that I'm older and more wise, the experience for that 21-year-old version of me was the best part about it.
Maybe you see a random tourist over there,
Yeah.
and then you wanted to just speak with them for like half an hour
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he's the
yeah,
only one.
yeah.
He's the only one who speaks
Yeah.
English.
That happened more times than you think.
Yeah.
And some of them have lived there for a long time. So to them, they don't care when they see me. But because I'm suffering doing the push-ups and everything, when I see someone at the mall and I'm like, oh, another foreigner,
Right.
they're like, why are you so happy to see me?
I,
You know, like they don't care.
I just want to run and want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So, have you ever regretted that why I'm here, what I'm doing?
Oh, I mean, every day I was questioning, every squat, I was questioning why, of course. But you know what's crazy is the first 3 weeks are terrible. You're in pain, your body's adjusting. The pain never goes away, but something happens in your brain where you realize, oh, I actually am going to be able to get through this. It's just gonna suck. But the pain doesn't go any higher. It just stays this bad. And it hurts. It stays this bad, but it doesn't get any worse. So eventually, after a month, I knew I'd be okay. So I didn't think about, oh, I need to get home as much. But every now and then, you have to think about it.
Right.
Like the young boys after, we'd always eat like the traditional soup. It's called chunko over there. I love chunko. It's really good. After we train every day, and we'd all just be sitting there, icing our knees. Some people would be crying. Every other day, someone else is just throwing up.
Looks like a military training.
Yeah, literally. So if you don't question quitting, then you're not a human being.
Right.
Yeah,
And when you came back,
yeah.
totally a different world
Oh yeah.
in terms of training.
Oh, oh yeah. We don't train here. Like in
Right.
comparison, we don't train here. Training is very easy here.
Easy.
Over there, it's designed to be difficult,
Mhm.
but here it's just more technique and psychology, whereas in over there, it's just pain.
So you moved back 2018, I believe, from Japan.
Oh, yes. So I
From-
went to
from Japan.
Japan for the end of 2017. I came back to Windsor for a little bit in 2018 when I met you,
Yeah.
and then I moved back to Ottawa.
And then what you did, like you trained over there because 2018 to 2022
Yeah.
until you moved back to Windsor.
Yes.
Were you training? Were you wrestling? What was your
Yeah. So
lifestyle?
I had moved back home to Ottawa,
Mm,
and so then finally I'm like, oh, well, I need somewhere to train here, and they just so happened to just open a school. A
mhm,
couple of the guys from AEW, Stu Grayson and Ivo Uno, opened a school. So I began to train there, and they
mhm.
took me in very graciously. And I would wrestle for C4. I would travel around Ontario and make towns and wrestle. I had a WWE tryout in 2019
Okay.
when they came to Canada that time. And yeah, I was based out of Ottawa, and I just traveled from Ottawa, and I was wrestling up until the pandemic.
How was your experience tryout with WWE?
It was good. It did seem more of like just a showcase slash seminar
Okay.
because nobody got anything from that tryout. Like we're all there. Like there was like 50 of us, and
Mhm,
nobody got signed off of it. It was more like a seminar, but it was called a tryout. But it was fun. It was cool to be in that ring.
mhm,
William Regal was running it.
mhm.
The guys that were in the Imperium, like Gunther's stable,
Yep.
they were there helping William Regal run it. So it was a cool experience to just be
You get a
part of
chance to
WWE for a
meet,
day.
yeah, William.
Yeah,
That's a
no,
big
it was
part.
cool, yeah.
And you had to do all those drills, or it's just like easy version of tryouts?
Yeah, it was a modified version of the PC tryout that you hear about because
Okay.
they only had one ring. We
Okay.
did do some cardio drills, but nothing that would blow me up. Like
Okay.
nothing that would blow you up either.
Okay.
And,
Right.
you know, like that's why I always brag and talk about my gas tank. It's because of there. Like I
Right.
learned, oh, I can train this hard
Mhm.
and sustain this level of conditioning. So
Right.
that's definitely a plus.
When I used to do kickboxing, that
Mm,
was crazy training.
yeah.
I started at like I would say 87 kgs, but
Oh wow.
in a couple of weeks I was just 75 kgs. So
Oh, it'll do it to you.
it's
Yeah.
running, sparring,
Yeah.
traveling, all those
Hmm.
crazy drills.
And you have to probably make a weight class too, right? Or stay in
Yeah.
a weight class. So yeah,
Right.
your weight's gonna stay down. And
Right.
like it's sweat, man. It's sweat equity. Once the more you sweat and you do it every single day, you're
Right.
just gonna lose weight, lose weight, lose weight.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want to know the first time you got a call or text or an email for your first contract. Like how
Yeah.
was like I want to know the whole story.
Well, the truth it's really not a good story. The truth is I was just driving home from work in Ottawa,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a text from Scott, who was the boss of TNA and our wrestling coach. I got a text from him. We had just been talking about the Rocky movies because he's a
Okay.
Rocky fan and I'm a Rocky fan. It was like Creed 2 was
Mm-hmm.
coming out. So we had been speaking about that a few days prior, just joking around about Creed.
Mm-hmm.
And then he randomly just offered it to me. So I
Right.
was just driving home from work, brother, and I got the offer via text message, and I
Mm-hmm.
said absolutely.
Wow. What was your first reaction?
I was driving. I didn't really understand it at first. I thought he meant just come for a few tapings. I didn't
Okay.
think he meant like a contract,
Mm-hmm.
but the more questions I asked, I realized I was being offered a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always just maintained being in shape and always being ready.
But you were working hard for this for years. I know you from
Yeah.
2018, but way before then, you were trying, you were traveling, you were
Yeah.
wrestling, you were gaining experience and you deserve it. And
Yeah, no, for sure. And in wrestling, it's the whole people like, do people deserve things or not? And everybody thinks they do. Everybody thinks nobody else does.
mm-hmm.
To me, it's if I got offered a contract and
Mhm.
I wasn't good enough to perform, then it's not good.
Right.
But the fact that he offered me this contract and then I showed up and I was good enough, I was in shape, and
Mm.
I didn't stand out as if I was bad or something,
Mm.
I'm completely okay with getting my opportunities however way. I showed up to a random tryout. I went to Japan. I got a random text message. I got signed to TNA.
Yeah.
All of these things, I made the most of it, and I was physically and mentally and talent-wise, I was ready for these positions.
Right.
So I don't
Yeah.
really think about whether I deserve it or not.
And when you got signed and you had your debut match at TNA,
Yeah.
like, how was your reaction? What was the feelings?
I remember you weren't at this taping. I think you were getting your travel sorted. I saw
Okay.
you again at the next one in Florida. This was in Atlanta against Jonathan Gresham. Very short match, but they said you're going to be working Gresham, and Gresham had just got signed to TNA as well. So, you know me, like I don't really get nervous, but I was in Atlanta thinking to myself, this all happened so fast. I'm ready for it, but this all happened very, very quickly. I try just not to think about anything and just stay in the moment. There are times where I'm more concerned about the performance I'm going to have than others, but no matter what, I always just go to a point in my head where I say to myself, I did everything that I had to do to get to this point. I trust God. Whether it goes good or bad, who cares?
Right, just do
And
your
then I
best.
go out and try my best. And I really just try not to think about anything. I don't think about the match. I don't think about the fans. I don't think about performing well. I just am blank. So a lot of the times, if you see me before I go out there, I'm just there.
Just there.
I'm just there. I'm just there waiting, you know?
You work with Kenny King,
Yeah.
and do you had any plans? Like you wanted to go as a singles? You already made your mind that you wanted to go have a tag team? Like any plans you had of it?
Well, I can do anything as a wrestler, but I pride myself as like a singles wrestler. Like I'm a solo act per se. But when you get a contract and they offer you to be in a tag team or a stable or somebody's young boy, like I was for Kenny essentially, you just take it and make the most of it. So I had no plans. I had no idea. Just one day I got to work and they said, I'm going to be joining Kenny King. And I was like, okay, cool. I said, no problem.
How's working with Kenny?
It was good. I like Kenny. And we still talk to this day. I'm happy I got teamed up with him because his style is kind of similar to mine.
Yeah.
We're not the same, but his style is kind of similar to mine. So I really did learn a lot from him. And it wasn't even in ring. It was just business wise and how to plan certain things and just how to manage yourself backstage, etc.
Right. And those are like really
Very important.
part of
Very important.
profession
Yeah, Kenny and I never talked about things in the ring.
in the ring.
Everything we talked about had to do with performance, charisma, business. It was never about drop kicks and body slam.
What do you think about old school wrestling and a new school wrestling? First, for the audience, can you please elaborate the difference between two and which one you like and which one you prefer?
Yeah, so in our current era of wrestling, there's a lot more moves. It's a lot more dynamic. It's like that in every sport, but in the wrestling business specifically, it's a lot more dynamic. It's faster. It's more exciting, as people would say. Whereas back in the day, they focused more on character and feeling. There's a big, as you know, there's a big argument which is the right way, which is better, and inevitably the answer is whatever you like. But back in the day was a lot slower. It was a lot more about storytelling and just getting a reaction.
Right.
But the way the fans consume wrestling now, they're conditioned to want more.
They want to
So
see
you can't,
action.
I don't think you can get away with wrestling the way that they did back in the day. I think that our current generation has detached from it a bit too much. I think we don't have to do as much as we do. But as it pertains to me specifically, I prefer like a middle ground. I prefer, if I had to choose one, I prefer back in the day, but that attitude era style where it's aggressive and still fast, but they're not doing all of this stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of my favorite. And I try to make my style
Yeah,
that in between.
From here, I want to ask you, you used to do all those
Yeah.
springboard drop kicks, all those cross bodies from the top rope.
Yeah.
Now your wrestling style is totally changed.
Yeah.
Why did you change it, basically? I want to ask you, why? Because that was like so cool to see
I know,
Shelby
yeah.
flying.
Yeah, I know. So I changed my style for a couple reasons. One, I'm all about self-awareness and knowing where your strengths are. And I think where my strengths are, where I stand out from other people, is how I carry myself, how I look, my charisma, how I speak, etc. I'm an athletic guy. I used to play sports a lot, so I can do all of those things. And before, I definitely could do all of those things. But there's a lot of people that can do those things. So my way to stand out just so happens to be the things that I have strengths in. So I just decide to lean more into my strengths so I can stand out more as a performer. Josh Alexander said something that stuck with me once. He said, "There's no point of doing this if you're not doing it the way that you wanted to growing up when you were watching." It's like,
Right.
why would I show up here, start jumping around and flipping just because I can, when I was a little kid watching, I didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's just
That's
kind of
deep.
paying homage to little Sheldon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. He's the best. Like he told me one time, just one small code. He's like, Bhupinder, whatever it takes. And I know it's just
Yeah.
a 3 words, whatever
Mhm.
it takes. After that, I'm doing whatever it takes to go to the next level.
Mhm.
Training wise, looking good, training in the gym, even the traveling part. I
Yeah.
didn't like to travel a lot, but now I'm traveling.
I'm with you, brother.
Yeah.
I'm with you. No, Josh, like in this wrestling, I told you I like wrestling. I don't love the business. In the wrestling business, there's very few genuine good people,
Bro.
and Josh is one of them.
I want to ask you about your experience working with Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. You had a big match with Kaido Kiyomiya,
Mm-hmm.
and you worked with Cutie Marshall. So first, I want to ask you, match against the Japanese legend Kaido.
Yeah.
Were you? Because I know that was a big opportunity for you to prove yourself, and
Mhm.
as I know you like
No, I
were
know.
waiting for the moment. Were you nervous for that match?
I definitely was not nervous for that one. Like
Okay.
not even close to nervous. And it's you know me, so but for the audience, this was one of those things where in wrestling, you can believe in yourself as much as you want. You can be as good as you think you are. If certain people do not think you're that good or
Mhm.
believe in you, you may never get a chance to show what you're capable of.
Mhm.
So this was one of those rare times where I got a chance to show what I'm capable of. And it just so happened to be against someone who is now a Japanese legend, Kaito Kiyomiya. And it's just a full circle moment because we used to train together when we first started, Kaito and I.
Oh wow.
And yeah, like before you showed up, he was there.
He was in Canada?
Yeah, the tryout, the
Canada.
practice, that was him. That was there with the president of NOAA. It was literally
Wow.
yeah. So I wasn't nervous at all. I wanted the match to come sooner than it actually did come. But
Right.
so
As I saw your last match, you look great. You're in a great shape.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Looks
I'm
you
not
look
I'm not in as good shape as you are though.
Oh.
I'm not in as good shape as you are.
Oh, thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. So do you have any specific training routines you follow before the match, or it's the same on your regular days too?
That's a good question. Like I said, you learn how to train the longer you've trained for. So at this point, I've been training for 10 years straight, doing things wrong, figuring out what works, figuring out what doesn't. So I'd say when I'm leading up to a big match, the only thing that changes a bit is I amp up the endurance training a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So inevitably, when I amp up the endurance training, I start to lose some weight. So I look a little bit smaller, I'd say, but better on TV.
Right.
And not lifting as heavy. Like I'm preparing to be as functional and active that day as I can
Right.
and still look good. You know what I mean? So
Are your parents proud of you choosing this profession? Because I know, like,
yeah,
as an Indian,
yeah,
my family used to think like, oh, what he's doing, he needs to
yeah,
find something else. And many other families, they're like,
absolutely.
their kids need to find a profession where there's more stability,
Mhm.
more money, stable money, basically. Are your parents proud of you choosing this profession?
Yeah, obviously at the beginning, like yourself, it's very foreign to them.
Mhm.
My mom is from Africa. She's from Nigeria. So
Mhm.
she's watched me watch wrestling literally my whole life. But the
Okay.
idea of doing it kind of blew her mind.
Okay.
But she was always supportive from the very beginning. And I think at first she just saw it as something I was doing to be happy.
Mhm.
And then it inevitably turned into, oh, he's working very hard and he's good at it. So yes, I'd say she's proud of me. And honestly, so is my dad. They come to watch me whenever I'm in Ottawa or around where they are. And yeah, they're supportive and I couldn't be at this point where I'm at without them. especially my mom. I think it wouldn't be possible.
Is she gonna come and watch your July 5th match in Montreal?
I know my brother's coming July to Montreal, but I don't think my mom's coming to Montreal. She asked me about the date,
Okay.
but Ottawa's 2 hours from Montreal, so maybe she'll show up, maybe she won't. But one day we'll get an MLP show in Ottawa, and she'll for sure come watch that one.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And your brother,
yeah.
amazing guy.
Mhm.
How he feel that his brother is pro wrestler
Yeah.
and traveling places, making his name.
I don't know how he feels about it. Me and him never have talked about that.
Mhm.
But this, what we're doing right now is our dream, me and my brother's dream. It's not like he's watching me do it. Like I began watching wrestling
Mhm.
because of him. My older brother would be sitting down watching wrestling and I'd just follow him. We play the video games together. So he's kind of living this through me. Everything I do in the ring, everything I say on the mic, I talk to him about it first.
Mhm.
We discuss it as if we're one person.
Mhm.
Sometimes we argue, sometimes we get along about it. It's just, so he's really on this journey with me. And honestly, if he wasn't part of it, I don't even know if it'd be worth doing.
Sweet.
Legit. So
I want to ask you about the traveling part.
no.
We used to travel every other week.
Yeah.
We did 11 hours, 12 hours drive. Sometimes it started with 6
Yeah.
and eventually we did it for 12 hours
Yeah.
too. Like I was happy actually. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna lie. We paid the dues though.
Oh yeah, we did. Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, so this is what we do. As wrestlers, we travel, we make towns, however way that happens. Obviously, it would have been convenient
Mhm.
if we were flying to all
Okay,
of these tapings.
right.
But you and I specifically were driving to all of these tapings
Right.
when other people were flying, which is fine.
Yeah.
We pay our dues, we take the spot that we have.
Mhm.
I think that because of the group that we had traveling, it made it a lot better
Mhm.
and made it a lot easier.
Mhm.
But people don't understand going to perform while sitting in a car
Yeah.
for 14 hours, not at a level, an independent level. We're wrestling at a TV level, and we were in a car for 14 hours,
Right.
and it's just not, it's not sustainable. You have to leave a day before, you're
Mhm.
traveling for a whole day, then you get there, then you have to perform, and you have to travel a whole day back. You can't even have a job outside
Right.
of wrestling.
Yeah.
You're working, you're making less, you're
Right.
working harder, and you can't do anything to compensate for it in your regular life because you're on the road so much.
Right.
So I don't think people will actually understand the money, the time, and the stress on our body
Right.
that those couple years that you and I had
Mhm.
did. But it definitely built character for us, and it built our relationship too.
100%.
Yeah.
I like the part actually when we used to go to eat someplace.
Mhm.
3 dudes, different races.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a white driver, an Indian in the passenger seat, and this black guy in the back, and then
And-
Bucks.
and the Bucks
Yeah.
and two Jack guys. One
Oh,
our drum boy, our friend, driving. And every time we go anywhere, any place, people used to turn their
Yeah.
neck and used to see like what's going on. Why white, brown,
Yeah.
and black people are like
you
driving
couldn't
together.
possibly guess why
Yeah.
we were together.
We used to laugh on that.
Yeah, nobody would be able to guess. But that's the beauty of pro wrestling.
Right.
Very multicultural, and you'll see stables like that. You'll see tags like that. So it's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Sheldon, I want to ask you, do you have any time period in your mind that until this time I'm going to do professional wrestling and I'm going to try my best?
I used to, back to when I was crazy about getting to my dreams, etc. I
Mhm.
had this whole plan. I'm gonna be in this company by this time, making this much money.
Mhm.
You're not in control of these things.
Mhm.
You just in control of what you do. So I just do my best and kind of go with the flow. I don't think about when I'm gonna stop wrestling. I
Mhm.
don't say if I don't get to a certain point by this time period, I'm gonna stop. I'm very much so just listening to my body and listening to God. If I wake up tomorrow and I feel, hey, like I shouldn't be doing this anymore,
Mhm.
I'll stop. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I
Now
would
it's still
stop,
gonna
you
happen.
know?
Yeah. We're
Or
gonna
maybe
keep
I'll be going till I'm 50. Who knows?
right.
Yeah.
And Sheldon Jean, if not a wrestler, then what if he would be?
That's a good question. I'm just a dude, man. Like I'm just a dude, so I would just be like every other man, just trying to make it by and live in this life, brother. I literally don't know what I'd be doing.
No clue?
I have no idea what I'd be doing.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
No, I have some strengths, but profession-wise, who knows?
What are your strengths? Social media?
No, no, definitely not. I think I can articulate myself fairly well, so speaking to some sort of degree might be in my future if not for wrestling. But
You can be a counselor.
a counselor?
A counselor.
I don't care about people though, man. I don't care about people. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like a coach. Maybe a
Yeah,
dating coach.
a dating
A
coach.
dating
Wow,
coach, yeah.
we need more then.
Oh yeah, we need more of those. Yeah, I don't know. I have a good memory and I can speak. That's kind of what my skills are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what can make me money off that. I decided to just be a wrestler and throw my head at the ground.
No plan B.
No flat B, brother. Never
Just,
that.
just jump in and do your best.
Exactly.
What's next for Sheldon Jean?
What is next? I am with MLP at the moment, and MLP is going like this, which is
Right.
very fortunate. As a Canadian, I'm very grateful to be a part of a very big Canadian promotion.
Canadia's best promotion, Maple
Yeah,
Leaf Pro Wrestling.
and it is only going up, and good things are about to start happening. Good things have already happened,
Mhm.
but about to start happening. So I'm just focused on the present and in the now. I'm trying to show what I'm capable of
Mhm.
on all of these shows that we're having for when we inevitably get on TV, that I can hopefully be one of the pillars of Maple Leaf Wrestling.
Mhm.
So I'm just trying my best, staying in shape and trying to evolve as a performer
Mhm.
and hoping that Maple Leaf continues to ascend.
You think if you get an offer from WWE
Mhm.
or AEW or TNA,
Okay.
where you go?
Where am I going to go?
Where you gonna go?
Wherever God tells me to go. Truth be told, wherever God tells me to go. Younger version of me would have told you WWE for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more recent parts of me would say, oh, AEW, they give a lot of people opportunities and they sign people from the independents.
Mm-hmm.
I've been with TNA. It's a business. At the end of the day, I will do what is best for me and my family. And what's best for me and my family isn't the same when I'm 29. It's not the same when I was 22. And it's not going to be the same when I'm 35. So no matter when it comes, I'm just going to have to assess the landscape of my life
Mm-hmm.
and then make an educated decision then. I have no idea. So,
Right.
yeah.
And what do you wanna say? Who think wrestling is fake?
People who think wrestling is fake, I just ask them what do they think is real in their lives. It's not something that
Nice.
bothers me anymore, but I'm sure these people have fake friends. I'm sure these people watch TV shows that have actors, which means the show's not real, right?
Mhm.
I think if you're gonna consume wrestling and appreciate wrestling, you just have to view it as our world and accept our world for what it is. There's a reason why there's millions of fans around the world. There's reasons why there's sold out 80,000 people shows. It's not because everyone's there watching saying, oh, is this fake or is this real?
Mhm.
They're just watching to be entertained and they love the product.
And any advice you wanna give, especially people from India who wanna be a pro wrestler?
If you're from India and you want to be a professional wrestler,
Yeah.
you just have to look at Bhupinder.
Oh, thank you.
Honestly, you just have to look at the people that have done it from there. But if I was going to give specific advice from me, if you're going to do it, commit. You have to commit to it and leave your ego at the door.
Mhm.
Don't get married to any ideas. Don't get married to any moves. Don't get married to any show that you want to be on. Be open to everything and immerse yourself and find yourself in the business. And don't be one track minded on just how things are supposed to go. They're never going to go the way they're supposed to go.
100%. Sheldon, it was really great talking to you.
My brother.
And thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming and doing this podcast for me. You're the man, and I'm pretty sure when you became big, we're going to come back with a new podcast.
You and I both, brother.
Oh, yes.
You and I both. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Much love.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Guys, ਇਹ ਸੀਗੇ ਸ਼ੈਲਡਨ ਜੀਨ ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਹੋਪ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਮਜ਼ਾ ਆਇਆ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਟਰਾਈ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਟੋਰੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਈਏ ਐਂਡ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਫॉर ਵਾਚਿੰਗ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਲਈ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਨਵੇਂ ਪੋਡਕਾਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਗੈਸਟ ਨਾਲ ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਧਿਆਨ ਰੱਖਿਓ ਜੈ ਹਿੰਦ ਜੈ ਭਾਰਤ